Yo, what's up, people, man? This is the Bull Kid, and the gameplay y'all watching is Front Page Sports Football '98. I had to jump back into the DeLorean one time and show people games that don't really get mentioned in the football simulation conversation, man. All Pro Football was a true simulation game, but it had its flaws. 2K5 was a true simulation game. It had its flaws. A lot of these simulation games have its flaws, but I think we ought to mention some other games that really tried to, push that simulation envelope so we can see and compare, what directions these companies are going in when they make games, especially EA. Like, what is their direction? Is their direction to make a game that's just truly simulation, or is their direction to make a game that caters towards everybody? You know what I'm saying? Not to say that simulation doesn't cater towards everybody, but the entry fee is higher. You know what I'm saying? You got to have a different. Your mindset has to be, this. You got to learn. You actually have to learn how to play the game. You actually have to learn how to play football in order to be successful at it. You know, for the most part. Of course, you got little aspects of video games. That it's going to come into play where you can find some cheese here and there, but for the most part, in order for you to be successful at the game, you had to know some core fundamental football aspects. And all pro football, you know, it was a striving to achieve that, but unfortunately, it got its legs cut out from under it, you know, by the licensing. And this is another game that got its legs cut out from under it, I think because they tried to do too much too fast, and the technology at the time couldn't handle it. Because this game was extremely deep. Front Page Sports was crazy. They had ratings to where it took into account your QB release and how fast QB got rid of the ball. On a pass, man. It was if your QB had a low release rating, he wouldn't be able to really throw the ball, and you wouldn't be able to throw the ball on certain routes. So you had to really tailor your offense towards your personnel. This game came with a play editor. This game had coaching, scouting during your career. So if you had a really good play that you could run over and over and were successful with that, the previous week, the week after, you wouldn't be able to run that play. That play would be null and void. You had to come up with a whole new game plan. Game had training camps for players, to improve your team. It was extremely deep. And it's a gem that people don't talk about. I've never really heard anybody talk about in the simulation community. And I think in order for us to understand what we should be striving for, we have to look back at other games that did it right. And this is one of the games that did, it did it right, especially in their career mode. On the field, you can't expect so much. It was 98, man. But they tried to bring as much simulation into this game as possible because this game was built from the ground up on simulation. This game wasn't really built with, the casual audience in mind. This game was really built for the hardcore football fan. And I think a lot of these EA games aren't built for the hardcore football fan. A lot of these EA games are built to just get as much money out of a larger base of people as possible. So in order for you to do that, you have to be able to make your game accessible to everybody. And what happens when you make your game accessible to everybody? You alienate your core audience. Your core audience is not going to respect your new direction because they know what the fundamentals of football is. If the fundamentals of your football game ain't there, man, your core audience is going to leave. You're going to still have those casuals, but your core audience is going to leave. They're going to, start bashing the game like we see now. People need to start understanding why we got these simulation dudes out here snapping. And before I end this, man, shout outs to Mark Newman, man. He put me on. He ain't have to do that. But, you know what I'm saying? I respect him for that. But I'm going to try to get on them Skype calls too, my man. So, you ain't heard the last of me. So, all right, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. Holla at me.